To iterate, Chris is in chat. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning.
You're never in chat in the morning, and it's lovely to hear your voice.
It's a bank holiday here, and we have All Hallows today.
Congratulations. Yay, bank holidays. Woo.
Yay, indeed.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of bank holidays where we actually don't still have to work. So, congratulations, because it's not something we get. It's like, I'm trying to think. We get the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. I think those are the 3 that we actually don't work. That's our bank holidays.
Like Christmas.
Well, Christmas I don't call a bank holiday as much because everybody's off on Christmas.
Okay, but you have to take a day off from work, or are you granted that by law?
No, we're not granted that by law.
You have to take a day off.
Let me think about that one. I don't think you're granted any days by law.
Huh. Interesting.
It's more by tradition than by law. I don't think there's any legal holidays they have to give you. I mean, there's work laws, but if a place chooses to be open and you choose to work those days, that's the thing. Our company specifically has 10 holidays, 10 paid holidays.
Okay.
That we're paid
for.
Very
low.
Pardon?
That's very, very low.
Yeah, I used to work with a company that was based out of Germany, and we had they had 21 holidays, 21 paid days off. And
you're 26 if you're above a certain age. I mean, working age, not like life age. You have to be working for some time to get 26, I think. And I don't know if it's any bigger.
So that was fun, and then we had a client in China, and every now and then I'd get a message going, hey, we're going to be closed for the next 3 days for tomb cleaning. I'm like, what?
What?
Well, it's the day, basically the country shuts down and you go home to where your family's tombs are, and you clean them up, and you get fresh decorations and make sure they're shiny and pretty, and you have 3 days to do it, and it's a national holiday, which is just like, wow. That's a weird one.
I mean, everyone's going to the graves today in Poland.
Oh, same thing?
Just cleaning, putting up the lights, putting up candles, like flowers and stuff.
I took my doggos up to my mom's grave. My dad was cremated, and so he's kind of out in Lake Michigan, floating around out there. Well, that's a long story, but my mom has a headstone, so we go up there. I try and go up there every year. But the groundskeepers keep it in great condition. And unfortunately, I've tried to grow flowers there because she had certain flowers she loved. But the soil, being southern Michigan, is very sandy, and it's very hard to keep flowers growing if you're not there every other day to water them and tend to them.
Yeah.
And I hate plastic flowers, so I just make sure that looks nice and pretty and clean. Had to introduce the new dogs to her.
Meanwhile, plastic flowers are a big major thing on cemeteries. Yeah. I mean, mostly because it's just economically pays off.
It does. It does. So when my dad passed away, he wanted to have his ashes scattered where he used to play in Michigan, near the family home. And as kids, we all played in the same spot. There's a number of, I won't call them creeks because they're way too shallow. They're like 1 to 2 inches deep, and they run from the sand dunes for like 2 to 3 miles way down to the lake. And at the most, maybe they're 2 inches deep, perfectly clear crystal water. And of course, the kids would play with them when we'd run from where they would start all the way down to the beach and then back up for another one and back and forth. So a lot of fun, but that's where he wanted his ashes scattered. So after he passed away and we finally got his ashes back from Austria, which took more than a year, we went to scatter them, and of course everybody is there that day, and trying to find a place that there weren't kids playing, because they did the same thing we did, was challenging. And my sister at that point was severely unable to get around. She had bad knees. And my brother scattered half the ashes, and then I went to scatter the other half. And at that point, we heard a bunch of kids coming up the stream. So I just immediately flipped the container over and dumped them all out. Not scattering as much as dumping. And the oldest of the kids goes, "Hey, are you sprinkling ashes?" And I said, "Not anymore."
Yeah.
Fortunately, the kids thought that was funny.
I would love to be able to You have this thing you can scatter ashes almost like everywhere. You go to a seashore or something, like an ocean shore, and you just scatter them all around.
It's super illegal
and that's
here.
A lot. It's super what?
Illegal to scatter ashes in a lot of spots because of public health, not realizing those things are about as cooked as they're going to get.
But this is the most benign remains of a human being that can be. Like, what's the point?
Tell me about it. Tell me about it.
But you at least have this ability that someone can even think about it. Do you think... My dad was cremated, and I was not allowed to scatter him anywhere, because legally it's forbidden. You have to have a plot. And why? Because church dips 99% of the plot rights, the plot terrains, so they get paid money, and they don't let the business get them out of the business, so... There's even legislation, like sanitary... There's like an institution of... I don't know how to translate it. They generally just take care of like sanitary stuff. They determine if stores are clean enough to host the food. They make like general check-ins to see if they still maintain the proper standards and stuff like that. And they also determine what can you do and you cannot do with human remains, including ashes. So yeah, my dad has to be in a plot in a cemetery because there's no other option, right? And I'm like, I would love to be like scattered somewhere, like go somewhere in the middle of nowhere where no people live, and just a lovely forest during a lovely sunset or sunrise, and just scatter me away, and that's fine. Why does anyone have to have a physical plot to visit? Like, if
especially now,
I never understood it.
More in Europe than here, because here we've got plenty of land, but where my sister lives in Switzerland, is it in Switzerland? You get buried for X number of years, and then they basically have to dig up the bones.
That's the same thing here. It's like it's not like we have endless amounts of terrain that we can extend the cemeteries endlessly. If you don't pay the plot, if like the family is all gone and no one's interested anymore, and no one comes legally to like pay for another like 20 years or something, the plot's going to be dug up and or like just a new burial is going to be placed over, depending on how much time has passed and how much remains in the ground, in the soil. But overall the plot is just being reused.
I suppose this is appropriate, right after Halloween we can talk about all this weird stuff. My husband's ashes currently are sitting downstairs in 2 cardboard boxes on my mantelpiece.
Oh.
Which, we had thought, okay, we're going to get a nice big urn made, but in the meantime... something came up and...
Life happened, yeah.
Well, life happened, yeah. But there's a company back where I grew up called Life Gems, where they will take approximately a ½ pound of the cremains, as they're called. They will burn them down to pure carbon and then grow a diamond for you.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that. They do that here, too. And they do that even with your pets, so you can have a diamond out of your pet ashes.
Yeah, you can do it out of any ashes. So my husband, who had loved our last dog dearly, we thought we'd mix some of their ashes together so we can have a Errol the dog and Craig the husband diamond. And I was going to have it put in my husband's watch, which used to have a diamond at this 12 o'clock position, and give it to my son. And I mentioned this to my son, and he says, "That's great, Mom. I don't wear watches." Okay, let's rethink what we're going to do with that diamond now.
Yeah, watches have gone out of phase almost entirely, unless you have a smartwatch which just doesn't have any room for like encrusted gems or anything like it anymore.
This was a beautiful watch. I spent a lot of money on it, and it needs to be fixed. But I thought,
honestly, I love traditional watches. I would still wear one if I had one.
It's a gorgeous watch. I spent a couple $1,000 on it for him, so putting the diamond in would be appropriate. The diamonds are expensive. They're like $2,500 a carat to have them made.
Yep. So it's good that they're very small.
Yes. But I don't wear a lot of jewelry, so I don't see a point in that. I don't even wear my wedding ring, and haven't for years, because when I was a nurse it used to tear through my gloves, so I just stopped wearing it.
Yeah, there are certain occupations where it just doesn't feel safe for either you or the gem or the ring to be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did find it. It was one of the things I couldn't find after the move. And I'm mentally going, I know I put it back in the ring box, and I put that back in the jewelry box. And that wasn't entirely correct. It was just stuck in the jewelry box. And as I'm still unpacking things, I was going through one of the boxes of my random jewelry, and oh, well, there's my wedding ring. So Since I clearly don't wear it too much, I'm going to put the dog down here. Here you go, dear. You can go. Ah! She was napping on my leg again. Sound asleep.
Aww.
Being adorable.
Cute.
But I think I will sell my wedding ring. It wasn't a fabulous wedding ring. I still have my husband's ring that I gave him someplace. Need to get that fixed. That will definitely go to my son. But now, what to do with the gosh darn diamond I want to have made? It's got to be on a piece of male jewelry, so, trying to figure out what a guy would wear. My son won't wear rings, so that's out. He does wear necklaces, but he only wears a few of them.
Maybe incorporate in something you can hang on those necklaces.
Well, one of his necklaces is a piece of, I don't want to call it jade. It's not really jade, but a stone from the South Island of New Zealand that I bought him, which he wears almost every day. $15 necklace, and he loves that thing. And so the other thing I was thinking of was getting a nice chain and putting my husband's ring on it for him. So now he's got two things he can wear.
Yeah, that's totally a good idea.
And I still don't know what to do with the diamond. So folks, if you know a masculine way to get a guy to wear a diamond that doesn't involve earrings, which my son isn't above wearing earrings, he's just not going to do it. He won't wear a ring, he won't wear a watch, and he's already got two necklaces. What else do I get him with a diamond?
Can it be on a pendant that's on the already pre-existing necklaces? Or is that
well, it won't go on the jade one because that's on a leather piece, so there's no way to hang a pendant there without it just, sitting on top of it. So I don't know. Maybe I should go to a jeweler with my husband's ring and see if there's a way to put a diamond in it or something like that.
Does he ever wear tuxedos or suits?
He wore a suit to a friend's...
Cufflinks are out of the question.
Yeah. He wore a suit to a friend's bar mitzvah when he was 13. He's 36.
I feel him. That's probably around the same time I've worn mine last time. I despise wearing formal clothing.
Yeah, I get that.
I can't be bothered. I can only wear... last time I wore something of a shirt and elegant... I think it was... I don't remember. It's all a blur when it comes to arranging my father's funeral.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surprised how traumatizing for me it was, but because my parents were a year after divorce, it all fell on me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You're still in
They still live together, so yeah, that was
okay.
Because they could afford separate the apartment.
Mm.
They only lived there for 39 years. And my dad was actually almost lived majority of his life over there because it was his and his mother's apartment. So my mom just moved in and my dad's mom moved out. Something of her own. It was way in a different system. But yeah, so I don't really remember what I wore at my father's funeral. I think it was a suit jacket, but I'm not 100% certain. But that was probably last time I wore something like it.
Yeah, I know my son doesn't have a suit jacket. We went to a nice wedding.
I have
recently.
a jacket. It probably outgrew it because I just, it's been years since I bought it. I think I bought it in early 20s. So
oh my gosh.
I'm 3 years short of 40, so yeah, that's not happening. I'm probably not going to fit into it anyway, in some way, shape, or form.
That does happen. Well, shall we go out and do some damage? I need to destroy some dreadnoughts. What have you got?
Ooh, I'm just doing polar on damage on a patrol, but I still got not even halfway there. Destroy Thorian ships, 10 of them, and I need to destroy destructible torpedoes. So either something traditional Borgy or I don't know, Undine perhaps.
How many destructible torpedoes do you have?
3. So it's.
We could do Hive Onslaught when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good to go anytime.
Okay.
I'll still bring on my Omni Polaron, so I'll just do the damage passively, as a pew.
I will queue us up.
I don't bother with making specific. Oh, there's good.
We wooed right away. So we ran Forged in Fire last night, a couple of times for people who needed to get it done. It's got a lot of visuals going on. It gets really tough to do it, not because it's hard, but because it's
it just gets
so much going on.
People have so many overbearing visually abilities right now. That just makes it really hard.
Yeah, at one point it was all white, and I'm just like, I can't find the captives.
Yeah,
with
and
this.
there's the fire thingy going up, and like the Lita does something with herself. It's just like there's too much clutter. I wish there was a button that just leaves. You do see the abilities you have on you as a small icon above your status, and I would wish that would be the only indication that the ability is being used outside of like the tray ability being pressed on, like no visual clutter, and maybe maybe an explosion and the weapon like firing and nothing else. They should be able to give you a filter that just phases all this out, because it's just.
Saf is able to turn hers down. I don't know what she does to turn down her visuals. So there is a way to adjust it.
Wow, there's a lot of people on the stream today.
You and me, right?
Yeah, literally. And I think
there were 4, but I think we got into talking about funerals and all that stuff, and people were like, "Yeah, that's okay today."
Nah, but it's okay.
We always get. I mean, last night turned into.
No! Oh, you mother of pearls!
Good save.
Yubes.
Oh, we don't have the strongest team here, so yeah, if you come back, be aware.
But that's my tanky ship. What the hell?
Yeah,
although
but tanky ships still. Oh, I died too, and so did somebody else. Tanky ships still require. Do I have any heals? Oh, I have 1 heal left on this ship. Yay!
No worries. I still have a few impossible devices. I just press on and it just fixes everything. Love it because it's just one push button. You don't have to choose type of damage you want to fix. It just fixes all the kind of damage.
I think I've got some impossible devices on a different account. I should put them over on this one.
And they will heal you. They will also heal you as a character on ground.
Oh.
Fix everything and anything.
I will grab some, bring them over here. My low-level tunes need the help the most.
I have to replenish my supply in exchange. They fluctuate in the price range. Sometimes people will charge for them ridiculous amounts of money. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna wait. But most of the time they're like cheap enough. And I think they're cheaper than the parts that you have to buy to.
So is it something you craft?
Ship. No, it's something that came out of a lockbox around the same time La Serena came out, because it was like a nod to something from season 1 that they used to fix La Serena.
Got it.
I don't remember season 1. It's a little blur. I'm still avoiding.
Yeah, I was going to say there's a reason we don't remember it. It had its moments. I mean, honestly, wouldn't it have been
moments for credits? But
no. I mean, Rios. Rios as a character was great.
Well, every scene with Rios, and then there's the credits. That's probably the best scenes in that season.
Rios was great. I wish they had done more with him as a character. He really deserved it.
I don't know what was the arrangement with him. Maybe he just didn't care, but I would love him to have an open window to return somehow in some capacity.
Well, they really.
I mean, we do still. I mean, we still could. Like, we could reuse one of his holograms and give them autonomy, like the good Doctor has.
Absolutely. That's a great thought. Of course, that's actually brilliant.
Well, his ship is still in our timeline, and although no, actually, it hasn't been destroyed by 7. I've lost track of time. I never cared for La Serena, to be honest, but you know, they make backups of backups. I'm sure that the code of the hologram is retrievable in some capacity.
Oh yeah.
Within the world building and all that stuff.
I mean, you could just write that into your storyline. That's no biggie.
Yeah, like he originally kept a backup of his stuff. I still hate that they decided to phase out the entire character of Rios. Though I don't know whether this was the actor's desire to just be featured here and he never cared for it anymore.
Yeah, I have to wonder about that.
Again. Because then what's his name? Santiago Cabrera?
Yeah.
That's the actor?
Yep. We saw he was in Beetlejuice.
Yeah, and I actually just recently been rewatching the entirety of Dexter, the original series, and I realized he was in the season. Yeah, I think it was season 7.
I had stopped watching it by season 7, so I didn't realize that.
Yeah, I mean his character was really fun, and
I think he's great.
He looked a little bit. He looked younger, obviously, because I was like in early 2010s. But hubba daddy.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, He's a walking god. And he's not tall, but I wouldn't care. He's still
he's like
one.
Well, it's really interesting how many actors are just not particularly tall.
Yeah, the famous
short
actors.
to average.
From Tom Cruise to like Antonio Banderas, who's also a short king.
You always have to wonder, do they go into acting because it's one way to deal with, perhaps poor self-image?
I think it's more of an exposure thing. You have to like numb yourself to if you have issues with not being tall, you have to numb yourself to it earlier before you go to acting, because you can be on the stage all the time and people are going to see you next to other actors. Like there's going to be comparisons. You have to be numb to that. Like, I can't imagine, and I know that some actors have really big complex about it, like Tom Cruise, for instance.
Really?
Yeah, he hates the fact that he's a short king, and he has made sure that every his major movie where he had something to say will measure him, like the camera pans and everything will never show him that he's a small king. He's a short king. I heard there's a very big issue with that, and I think even like one of his former partners mentioned that somewhere.
I died again.
Oh no. Well, I'm not looking fine because my pets are supporting, but
yep.
Yeah, the 32nd century pets, they don't bring a lot of firepower, but they do bring the ability to take away the hull of your enemy and bring it to you. So they heal you. Oh no, Your Majesty, no feedback pulse, no. That's not gonna slide, not with me. Ah, got ya. Now she's gonna die. Yeah, I know some actors have issues with this, others don't. I remember realizing how short, like for instance, Antonio Banderas is, because I saw him on the stage with Sarah Brightman doing Phantom of the Opera. It was some sort of concert. It wasn't like an entire play, but they did the most iconic, the Phantom of the Opera song. It's absolutely amazing. I never realized how good he can sing.
But yeah, he is a good singer.
Absolutely stunning, and the way the tension they created between him playing the role of the Phantom, and she was obviously still Christine or whatever her name was. That like she's that voice, but I realized he had like heightened shoes because he had to match her eyes.
Wow.
He had to be, like matching her height, and I realized he was a lot shorter. There were a few shots on that concert when you could see that his shoes are elevated. And I'm like, okay. I mean, they are still in like the style he wears. It's not like he wears Frankenstein shoes, but no kind of platform shoes. But he still had like a higher heel that was definitely higher than one would expect in a shoe style like this. So that was kind of interesting.
It is. I never was a good singer, but I did enough concerts and realized that singing when you're in heels is harder than singing when you're in flat feet, because it's harder.
Really?
You're pitched forward, and it changes the way that you breathe.
Oh, I never realized that. Well, I never wear heels, so I wouldn't know.
So our instructors would always be like, when we go to the concert, we're all wearing flats. Doesn't matter if you're short. We'll just rearrange people and put them in different heights and all that stuff, because we're all in high school, so of course people are short this week, and next week they're 6 inches taller because that's puberty. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh, you're flying to Carnarvon.
Yes, I am flying.
Love the Typhoon. They nailed it out of the park. Like they knocked it out of the park with the Typhoon. It's an absolutely amazing ship to fly. I just love it so much, and it looks so good.
Yeah, it does. So the ship is still a work in progress. It's the Sunday morning ship, but this Sunday we're going to start working on rebuilding my jellyfish.
Jellyfish. Yeah, I remember yesterday. Okay. You said that.
Oh goodness, I have a lot of junk here. Well, let's go fix that, and then clean out the inventory, and then I will jump to a different tune and see what else, because everything else here I've got is Borg on the ground and pull around on the ground, which I can get to later today.
Hollow-on can be done easily. I just go to Defera and shoot some Borg with the gun that came with.
Well, a lot of times I will actually run up and do a Jupiter Station Showdown, that really quick patrol. Because you get your Borg on the ground, plus you wind up with a little bit of dilithium.
Yeah, that works too.
And it's fast enough. Let me just get some of this junk in the bank. So I've got some room. Oh goodness, I have tons of stuff here.
Funny that people so much are hateful towards the Kelvin timeline films, yet they gave us the Enterprise A. that I just absolutely adore. It's slapping, it's giving TMP era all over the place.
I don't hate the JJ movies. I don't think they're fabulous, but I don't hate them.
Oh, no, I don't hate them. For once, they brought me to Star Trek to begin with.
Yeah.
I started with watching the original, of 2009.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was like 2 years later. I don't think I ever saw them in the movie theater. I mean, the first two anyway. I think I went to the third one.
Let's see,
I wasn't so impressed.
2009. Where was I teaching? I had 3 schools in a town called Batavia, and when the JJ movie came out, because they had nothing to run on their big screen on for like 6 months, so they ran it every Thursday night. So my son and I, at 9 p.m. So my son and I would cancel classes after 8:30. No, they ran at 9:30. So we would end our last class at 9, throw everybody out of the school, lock the door, and run out and go see that. Get home at like midnight.
See, that's the thing I really never had with any of my parents, any sort of connection over a medium.
Well, my son and I...
Like, my mom would go to me for, like, a Disney film, like The Lion King, and she would love it, but it wasn't, like, you know, like to anything to see a series or, like, something. Well, my dad was always...
I tried to share some of my son's enjoyment of things. You know, there's certain things he just really loved to see, and I tried to get into some of them, so we'd have stuff to get together over.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you've made an effort to, like, show that you support his interests and stuff like that. And I never actually got that.
It's not always easy, because some things I just genuinely didn't like, and so...
Sure, I get that. It's not always going to be... You're not always going to be compatible. It's an independent human being. You can't expect them to love the same thing you do, and vice versa. They can't expect them to... They can't expect you to be supportive, loving everything they do. Like, it's...
Exactly. And, you know, there's some things we just always agree to disagree on.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do not need these 2 things. I'm never using them. Thank you. Don't need that one either. Okay. A clean inventory. Sav would be happy.
Shame Savna's not here to see this.
She'll wait till it's filled up, and that's the moment she'll pop back on.
Yeah, that, I think she just senses the vibe. Like, Mom's inventory is so full that it has an overflow bag. Shows up on the stream and complains.
Exactly. Let's see if I can get some of this stuff. How it is. It's always that way.
I love that people miss in the... Like, it's funny because almost every Enterprise, I think outside of the D and C, had rotating basalt connectors.
Yes, yes.
Even the Enterprise G does it.
It's nice visual.
Yeah, I like the idea.
I'm going to kick you here and go jump onto a different account, and let's see what's going on.
Oh, I got kicked in the rear end.
Yes. Don't worry, I'll be right back. But all spoilers got left is ground, and I can take care of ground if I get home at a reasonable hour today, which is possible.
I literally came from walking my dog this morning right after like 3 minutes before you started. By the way, I was just like, I wasn't bothered to get out of bed.
Oh, yeah. I got up this morning, looked at the alarm. The alarm went off, and I stretched out for just a moment, and as often happens when you stretch out for just a moment, when you wake back up, you don't know, is it 1 minute later, or is it an hour later?
Is it 3 hours later?
Yeah. Well, it turns out it was 1 minute later, but I misread the clock, and it's like 6:01. I'm like, well, so much for that show. But no, it was it was 5:01. I'd only fallen asleep for a moment.
Yeah, it's like I'm just gonna pick up my phone and check if there's no notifications or anything, and like an hour later, I'm like, I've typed a message to nobody, and it's just like because I pressed the button. I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember opening my phone.
This one has destroy Undine in the battle zone. I'm sorry, we are not destroying Undine in the battle zone. Let's see if we can reroll that one.
Well, I've got Thorian ships left, though.
Let me just reroll this and see if I get something better. I got destroy Voth ships. Good. Now we can go do Undine, and we can do some Voth. I'm sorry, Tholians. Do you want to do Archer?
1 second, I need to yawn. I'm in the beta alpha quadrant, so it's gonna pick me out.
Well, you can do shortcut to Sphere of Influence and go over from there. That's pretty quick. And I'm at New Romulus, so it's gonna take me the same amount of time to get over there anyway. So.
Wondering what ship should I take? Oh, I know. I'll take the Protostar, because I haven't flown it in a while. I love how small this little ship is. It's so cute. Plus, it gets everywhere in like a blink of an eye. Beta quadrant is your sector, and the transwarp will take me to Archer and...
I'll take it close to Archer. I'm on my way to Archer. It just occurred to me I have to look at something.
I see.
Somebody sent me yesterday.
Archer system, plotting course. And if you look to your right, you will see a protostar in the distance flying towards the same target.
I do see it.
You do? Your screen is right.
You're right there.
There you go.
I can see you.
Of course, I have a delay.
Yeah, you do, and it's really weird. It's slightly off with the music also. Let's see. What
music?
Oh, when I have my intro music, the fifth doesn't count. Okay, the fifth doesn't count. So when I start this up, at least once a week, I listen to the music and watch the videos to see if there's any glitches or stuff that needs to be addressed. And today I noticed that the music for the intro video is off by a fraction of a second from the visuals, which is annoying as heck.
Oh no, how illegal.
And there's nothing I can do about it, so short of just completely starting over.
Adding a delay into like audio or something on even OBS Studio is a tedious, annoying thing, and I wouldn't want to bother with that myself.
No, I'm going to redo the whole intro anyway. I had it all planned out, and then Frost kind of stopped doing the videos. Okay, fine. And of course Ed's not with me anymore, and Pi doesn't do the videos anymore, and DT doesn't do the videos anymore, so I'm thinking, well, yeah, you know, time for a rethink. People have moved on with their lives, including me. But I do enjoy it. This is my social life. Okay, I'm there. Shall we go in?
Yep.
But they're starting finally to interview people for my position, so I can focus on just doing the writing aspect of my job, which is fine. I can keep doing my writing. It's a little side income. It's cheaper than hiring an outside writer, because if you hire an outside writer and they don't know the content, you're going to spend all of your time fixing it. Yeah. I'm trying to explain to people that decontaminate does not mean kill. It has a different meaning than other words, and they're all very precise.
Decontaminate doesn't have a meaning of kill, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Why would anyone consider that?
Well, because they're writers, and they're like, well, decontaminate. I've written that 19 times in the last paragraph. Isn't there another word we can use? Look up the source. Oh, it means this. We can use that word. No, it doesn't mean that. That's a different word. Sterilize means one thing. Decontaminate means another thing. Attenuate. All of these in my field have very specific
I don't think there isn't like very good equivalence of the word decontaminate.
There isn't. So you tend to go generic, and then when you don't have to say specifically decontaminate, you might say treat.
Yeah.
It treats contaminated medical waste.
Processing, or like something like that, but still, it has to be in the context and be very...
Very specific.
Very specific. Come on, get your tractor beams off of me. Is that gonna help you? Oh, I'm done with my Tholians, by the way.
It's because all the web nodes count.
They do? They
Yeah.
do as a separate Tholian?
Web
I mean, there's
nodes,
a separate Tholian entity, so I guess.
Yeah. The web points, or the web nodes all count as a Tholian ship.
Yeah, they could devise a new tactic. Those webs are really just such a tired...
They rarely collapse on you. They're not strong enough.
Yeah. And even if they do, last time I actually was afraid that the Tholian web is collapsing on me. It was like many years ago. And they haven't made them stronger since, so it's not like it's
The only time they
threat.
collapse on me is like when we're doing Azure Nebula Elite.
I've never
But
done
I
it.
think it's
at least.
interesting. As long as you get decent firepower, it's pretty easy. And avoid the Tholian webs.
Well, majority of my ships still have the ability to use fire at will, so good luck with those.
Yeah, there is that, isn't there?
And I almost exclusively run beams. I think Shrike is the only ship I don't have any singular beam on it. Out of all of my builds. So, actually, scratch that. There is also the Viridian Emerald Chain Juggernaut.
I have not.
But-
I have one in a box still. I need to put all my nice ships together and figure out what to do with them all. Everybody.
It's not a tank. Fair warning, it's not a tank. It's a huge, humongous ship, but it's not a tank. You
Okay.
will not build it like a tank because it doesn't have either the base built-in HP, nor does it have enough abilities to actually fit it. It is an intel ship first and foremost, and you've got to build it as such. If you haven't built an intel ship,
And I have not.
you have to prioritize infusion abilities. I don't remember the names of them because I have a very poor memory. Probably ADHD trait because I can tend to forget what I did yesterday. But generally there is like a confusion ability that will even disengage board tractor beam from you. I think it's an electromagnetic pulse probe, but I'm not 100% sure.
That would work. In theory, that should work.
If you have ability, I highly recommend Surgical Strikes 3. It's more powerful than Beam Overload,
Well,
and
I think
it really kicks a punch.
I got to figure out who's going to get it, and we'll do that build. Actually, I should put out a message on Twitter, since it's just you and me talking this morning. I should put out a message on Twitter about the Sunday show, because what happens, I think, a lot of times when I'm doing these builds is we spend half of the show watching me shop. So if I have an idea of what I need, I can go out and get it tomorrow afternoon when I'm waiting for the paint to dry. Since tomorrow I'm painting my bedroom, the first coat.
Oh, okay.
And then
Finally going around it.
Pardon?
Finally getting around it. You've been talking about it for some time.
I painted the first wall, the I don't know what you call it. We call it a feature wall here, but as you walk in the room, you usually have one wall that's kind of the focal point, and a trend here has been to make that a slightly different color, or distinctly different color than the rest of the room. And the previous owners had painted it dark gray. So, 2 coats of primer to kill the dark gray, and then 2 coats of color to make sure it showed up right.
Dark gray, that is a choice, but not a good one.
Okay, I did dark gray in my house back in Chicago. As you walked in, there was a single wall that divided the main room from the kitchen, and we painted it screensaver gray, which is almost black.
Okay.
And we had one picture on it, which was this really inexpensive poster we have of a Klingon bird of prey with Worf, Martok, and Gowron. I think Korn Kang were in it too. Just a drawing of them staring there, looking threateningly at you, and that's it. There's no sign, there's no wording on it, no nothing. It was a cheap poster. I spent a couple $100 to get a great frame, and you walked in and that's what you saw. That's the only thing that was on that wall. I thought that set the tone for my house.
Yeah, but that's a good background for something. It can't be just a lone dark grey wall.
Oh yeah, no, that would
be overwhelming.
Well, we were going to get the Han Solo and Carbonite?
Carbonite.
Yes, and
Carbonite.
put that up there because we found that available as a piece of art. And my husband's like, it's $2,000. We're not getting a $2,000 piece of art. Fine, I'm putting Klingons up.
Yeah, truth be told, getting a proper Han Solo and Carbonite would probably be expensive.
It was, yeah. So now as you walk into my house, you go into the main door, take the 2 steps down into the main room, and you see the fireplace. And above the fireplace you have a picture of the Next Gen family, the black and white photo.
Aww.
And I'm thinking, that sets the tone, but everything else in that wall, or that room, is all Star Trek. As you go up the stairs, it's all Pacific Rim. You go into my bedroom, and it's all family pictures.
Priorities, right?
Yeah. Well, everything's got a room. I want my family close to me, when I'm asleep, and want to be safe. But you walk in my house, and, I'm a nerd.
Yep, that's a good priority.
Yeah. I found 2 more of my Pacific Rim posters I never had mounted, so those are getting done. I have 2 more Star Trek things that need to get framed when we'll go up, but paint the room first. My son keeps going, get one thing done, Mom. Just paint the room this weekend. Don't worry about the fact that there are 8 million leaves in your backyard. Paint the room. You can get the leaf mulcher next weekend. He's a smart kid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have Voth ships. Shall we do Aftermath, Nasorden?
Sure, we can.
Okie dokie.
Wow, 40 years. Wow.
40 years?
Jean-Michel Jarre, one of my favorite music composers.
Oh.
To date, he's doing electronic music. He's celebrating 40 years of Zuluk.
Wow.
Which was one of his albums from many, many years ago, and that wasn't his first, wasn't his last. He's still cooking music, even though he's like in his 70s, I think.
Nothing wrong with that. I'm launching for Nasorden.
Alright, let me just launch ahead. Aftermath.
Well, it's November.
Yeah, I went
It
to
is
2 of
November.
his concerts here in Poland. He actually did a few more. But I got the ability to see the... it was the 25th anniversary of Solidarność that actually overthrew It's just started a movement that overthrew communism in
Oh,
Poland.
yeah.
And because he was invited by Wałęsa, who was one of the first 2 presidents.
Mm-hmm.
He was actually the first democracy elected president. So he was invited there in 2005.
That's cool.
Yep. And yeah, the concert took place in Gdańsk, where the Solidarity movement actually started. It was a shipyard. I mean, it's still a shipyard, but more now a museum than a shipyard that's still active. And they've organized a concert right in the middle of the old shipyard, around the shipyard cranes, which were used.
How cool.
Yeah, he used them to move and display screens, which have displayed some sort of projections, fireworks on the shipyard building, and the music scene, and the scene, and everything just perfectly aligning. There was 150,000 people over there.
Oh my
Estimate
gosh.
175,000. 175, something like it. I didn't. When you're in a concert and it doesn't have like a normal traditional scene, so people are all on the same level.
Mm-hmm.
You don't realize how many people are around you. You just see a crowd around you, and that's it, right? But when I saw the recordings from the broadcast the day after, when I got back, and I saw the air shots of the amount of crowd, was like, I was there.
Wow.
I was like, no, I would never. I was so shocked that they actually they put so many people out there, and the crowds were immense, like on the street level. But you don't see it from aerial view. You just see crowds. You don't realize how many people they are. But I was overwhelmed by the shots on TV in news broadcast the next day. I was like, whoa. And this is the guy that actually held. Yeah, that's a guy who assembled breaking world records amounts of people on concerts. So like his concerts are were always a big deal. He did 3 concerts in places which you don't think a Western star would make a concert in. He even did a Tiananmen Plaza in in China.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah, because he made an album, Souvenir of China, which was heavily inspired by Chinese culture. You know, he did probably one of the most groundbreaking electronic breakthroughs in terms of music. It wasn't just like, you know, synthesizers doing synthesizer thing like in the 70s when he started to break through. But he just created the very breath of fresh air of that kind of music, because it had melody, it had experimental stuff that no one ever dared to use in a larger capacity. He still heavily uses the theremin, and that's an instrument that
yeah. Oh, I know what a theremin is.
requires, it just requires so much precision in your movements just to get it to do what you want it to do, and he's mastered it so well. He did a collaborative two volumes of collaborative albums, like in 2016, 17, 18, something like it. And he collaborated with the biggest names in electronic music at then. He even had Pet Shop Boys actually do a cameo for him, where their lead singer has just sung the thing and they did the music in collaboration. So like big names, really big names attached to it.
That's really interesting.
And he played for those two albums in my city, in my hometown.
Ooh.
So I was actually able to see his second concert in an arena that we have. It's a sports arena, but it perfectly accommodates all kinds of events, from a musical concert to even an animal show. So like they're very versatile building, and he had his concert there, and I was so thrilled because it was so easy for me to get in. I lived there, so it's near my neighborhood when I grew up.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
that was just so perfect alignment of factors. I saw his stuff twice. He's been in Poland like 4 times, I think. Europe-wise, he's very big. Like his name is attached maybe to a lot of stuff in electronic music, and I think his music still holds up, even the stuff from the 70s and 80s. It's so timeless. You can still listen to it now. I remember I discovered his music like in the early 2000s when my dad bought his experimental album that he did for Egypt. He loves Egypt as well.
Wow.
And he did a Millennium concert that took 12 hours, lasted 12 hours.
Did he do that in Egypt?
In Egypt, under the pyramids, on
I've
the
seen
eve of
that.
1999,
I have seen
2000.
that.
Yep. He used pyramids as screens for his visualizations. He used local artists who did music, an intermediary, like, you know, between his tune-ins. They were also doing local music, local artists.
Yeah, there are YouTubes of sections of it, obviously not the whole thing. But I have seen that. That was amazing.
It was amazing, and the album that originated around that concert was probably the biggest thing that moved me musically at the time. It really got me into electronic and movie score music. He actually, the Zuluk, the album that is celebrating 40th anniversary, was solely used with human voices recorded, and he remixed them to sound like music. Some of the most groundbreaking stuff he's done, and I'm glad that he's still around. He still does music. He still has huge passion for it. He still assembles massive crowds on concerts. And so universally, his music is celebrated even in places, you know, that you wouldn't think. Like he did in I think it was a Red Square, but I'm not sure, in Moscow, like in the mid-90s, before Putin was in charge. And the Palais de Concorde in Paris was also one of his world record-breaking concert under the Eiffel Tower, where he incorporated the Eiffel Tower again into the concert. He's like a master when it comes to doing that stuff. I mean, him and his team, anyway.
That is so cool.
Yeah, and like if you find videos on YouTube from his concerts, they blow your mind. He did a concert in Houston that also has been recorded and it's a separate album, Concerts in Houston.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, amazing stuff. And some of his pieces are so monumental that they shouldn't be played anywhere else but on a concert. Really.
Yeah, it does
Like
change it.
he has an instrument called the laser harp. That is just like a string of lasers that beam outwards up and above the crowd, and he just blocks the lasers with his hands.
I just googled it and saw an image of it.
Yep. And he has a piece that's been written deliberately for that album, and for that instrument. And like, pioneering is a thing for him. It's a way of life for him, I think. He did an experimental album that he hates today. Which is funny.
Oh, I really totally get that. Yeah.
But he hates it to a point that he will never mention its existence. Like, ask for it, he will hate you. He will hate your guts if you ask him about it. It's Tio and Tia album from like 2005, I think. 2000. No. I think it was later. But anyway, it was an experimental thing because it was more techno vibe, and he even pioneered some sort of interactive video clip for it, with 3D characters created deliberately to like showcase the album. I think it's great. I musically like it, but he will never acknowledge its existence. He thinks it's a big mistake. Do you know the actress Charlotte Rampling?
Yes, absolutely.
He was his wife for a while.
Really?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah, I absolutely love Charlotte Rampling, by the way. There is a movie that she starred in like mid-2000s, which is considered a very crappy movie, but I think it's a masterpiece that is still yet to be understood.
Which movie?
It's called Immortal, I think. It has a deliberate E put into the title.
I'm Googling it right now.
It's from 2004.
She was in Dune. Did you know that?
Yeah, she was in the latest Dune. Yeah, she was playing the Mother Reverend. Yep.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that was her.
Yeah. Original title is Immortal Ad Vitam. It's it's kind of an interpretation of a comic book.
It's not popping up in her IMDb, which is interesting. When was it?
2004.
I didn't go down the list far enough, that's why.
Yeah.
She does a lot of work.
Very unusual film, which I think it's still very, very much underrated. I think it's amazing, and it's so weird, but it's so amazing. I love it. It's my guilty pleasure. I keep rewatching every now and then. Oh,
and it's on Amazon. I can watch it.
Yeah, totally. I totally recommend it for like just making your mind about it. Just see what you think about it. I'm very curious what people think about it. It's weird. It has a very weird blend of CGI that isn't exactly looking convincing. It kind of like is stylized CGI with normal actors. It's happening in some sort of distant future, and I love Charlotte Rampling in that film, and she's such a beautiful woman. Even in the years now, you can still see the beauty of her youth still like sparkling through her face, through her eyes. She has those eyes that they're cold, but they're beautiful. She's such an unusual actress that is so versatile. She even played in Dexter, out of everything, in the last season of season 8, I think. And I loved her role, but the season is such a mess.
Yeah.
The season 8 is such a mess, but Charlotte Rampling is still like... Whenever I see her that she's attached to something, I know I will definitely watch it. If it's like coming out, somewhere. Oh, she plays in the second Dune too. I still haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't seen the second one.
I've seen only the first one. I missed it in the theaters.
I was trying to get people to go with me, and they were just doing that. I mean, everybody loves Dune, but trying to find the right time. And now we make the point of... I've been trying to go do something every week, whether it's going to the theater, or a concert, or the opera, or the orchestra, or, it most often turns into let's go to a movie, which is fine. So we got to see...
She was only married once to Jean-Michel Jarre. She never married again. I'm curious. Yeah, I love Charlotte Rampling. And the fact that I learned that she was married to Jean-Michel Jarre, one of my favorite composers, I was like, excuse me?
That works out well. Do we have time for a super fast ISA?
Yeah, sure. I want to take out this one for a spin.
Okay. Take it out.
Haven't flown my Excelsior 2 for a while, so I would like to. It's my Intel ship. Actually, that's the weakest of the Intel ships because it has only one bridge officer with an Intel seating, and it's an engineering. And I really hate to lose the two engineering important seats. So
yeah.
I didn't make the sacrifice. Wait a second. What is this trait doing here?
So I just put Immortal on my list.
Yeah, if you
so
ever get
pop
to
up when
watch it, let me know.
Well, I have the place to myself this evening because I have to run Id to work and pick him up. So that means, unfortunately, it's right in the middle of when I normally would be doing a live stream. So, you know what? I can take him in, I can buy myself a pizza, I can sit back here and camp out with the doggers, eat pizza, and watch a movie tonight.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, that's probably my plan for the evening as well, if
it's not a bad plan.
Pops up.
I tried out a new sushi place yesterday, and my son was like, it's really good. I'm thinking, it's really average. And it wasn't that inexpensive. So, but unfortunately, or fortunately, I discovered that right next to it is a Korean fried chicken place.
Ooh.
Have you ever had Korean fried chicken?
Korean fried chicken.
Korean fried chicken. It's not that it's spicy. They don't.
Yeah,
it's salt and peppered, but the thing is, they put on a very thin coating of the batter and they deep fry it for 2 minutes. Take it out, re-dip it in the batter, deep fry it another couple minutes, and do that 3 to 4 times. So when you get it and it's fresh and hot, the coating is so crackling it's like glass. And then you put on whatever sauce, and it can be spicy sauces or sweet sauces or whatever. But the sauce comes with it separately, so you spice it so it doesn't make the coating soggy.
That's really sounds really good.
And the chicken itself is very plain, salt and pepper, and that's about it. And all of the spices and stuff, if you want to go spices in the sauce.
Yeah, I think that's the thing they do, is that their spices go into the sauce rather than into the meat itself, which I think it's a good idea.
Yeah, you can definitely have fun with it. Are you ready? Shall I launch us?
Yeah, I'm good.
You said you wanted to change ships, so I was making sure you switched.
No, I meant I wanted to take out this one. I just swapped to do it some time ago.
Well, we are queued. Hopefully this will pop.
Where was my trait? I'm trying to find a trait.
What was I just thinking? I was thinking I need to go up here.
We wanted to use a credence trait, but I don't remember what was the credence trait. Wait, let me Google it. Credence class STO. Because that's going to be just faster than just finding it in the list of. Like, I hate it that you can't find it by description. You just have it just searches by name.
No, we never can do that.
Right, surplus supply. Oh, I was close to it. STTTT. There we go. And I'm going to save it, and I hope it just takes us in. Yeah, I haven't revised. Oh, there we go. Weeboo.
Oh, Weeboo it is.
I haven't actually played with this ship for a while, and I realized I have some traits I could incorporate into it, which would help its stats, but I just completely forgot about it. It's too many ships. They keep pumping up new ships into the game, and I'm like, excuse me, hello, I just don't have room anymore. And you're still pumping up ships I kind of want. Well, that's not true. I didn't want a Lamar. The Voyager A from Prodigy. And that's weird, because I like the Protostar. I like the Dauntless, even though it's weird.
Really?
I don't know, Lamar just looks like another...
Yeah. That's what I thought too.
It just has nothing original standing out.
Well, I'm happy that they
really
put some time and effort into the Typhoon being such a nice piece.
Oh god, yeah, absolutely. Typhoon is... I'm probably going to switch eventually back to it because I'm just on my cycle of going through my builds, but I will just get back to it because it flies so freaking well.
I need to start going through ships, so I've got everything actually mastered, put it away, and then I can go out and start opening up boxes of stuff. because I have so many ships. And then I can start buying some ships because I need the Iwani. I've got, I think, like 10 T6 coupons.
I'm really annoyed that they still block off ships that already aren't new but are still unable to get through the coupons, even though
I think they should.
Numerous ships came into Zen. They should refresh that. Really.
I think it should be, kill, stuff that's maybe a year old. Don't make those available.
Yeah.
But this idea of killing everything for 2 years is a bit much.
Is it a 2-year limitation?
Yeah, that's why I think they said they were going to do a 2-year limitation.
Oh, fudge off. That's not fair.
No. Oh, did you ever get your destructible torpedoes?
Ages ago. No worries.
Just double checking. I just got hit by a torp. That's why I was asking.
That's a good way to remind yourself.
Oh, yeah. Torpedoes. Yeah, I remember those things.
Oh yes, the Excelsior is the ship. I really love its performance. It doesn't have a lot of bridge seats, but the ones it has, oh, they just do the job. Done.
As long as you can make it do its job, we're good. Did we get everything? Yes, we did.
Yep. And I'm still full health, full shields. Hello. This ship
was
amazing.
dicey for a moment there, but I got through it.
It was, but we got through it, and I think Excelsior 2 is a bit more.
We definitely do not have a big team here.
I mean, the Scimitar is a glass cannon.
Yeah, but it is gorgeous.
It is a gorgeous ship, I have to admit. And surgical strikes. I'm thinking maybe I should remove the Photon torpedoes and put the Maelstrom quantum ones.
I'm gonna go over and start trying to take out some of these probes, which is probably silly, because... Why is somebody over on the other generating?
Don't split runs! Oh my god,
good enough to do a split
run. Yeah, we're not like that much overpowered.
No, we are definitely not.
Excuse me, get away! I'm gonna try to slow them down. I do have an ability. It's gonna slow these probes.
A probe is closing in on a trend. Destroy it.
But they're gonna get here. No, don't you dare.
I'm killing them as fast as I can. Okay, those two are down.
And surgical strikes help.
Yeah, we just gotta take out the transformer, though.
Excuse me, probe. You're not gonna do a dent in my ship, so stop firing. It's just clutter right now.
The probe is repairing a transformer.
No, it's not.
Quickly.
I'm killing it as fast as I can.
Scanning the data.
Let's get this transformer thing killed.
Working on it.
Take that, probes. Alright, did we get
there?
it all?
You go. Well, we
still got the assimilator.
Alright, got the assimilator here.
It looks like Tholok isn't doing anything. And maybe he's over there just in position, but I don't see any procs
He
going
doesn't
over.
have shields on, he doesn't get damage in, I don't know.
No, it's just sitting there. Yeah, we're up to the last sequence, so it doesn't matter.
And of course we have a jellyfish.
Yeah, well that's fine. Let him jelly.
Just even targeting anything, it's just like sitting there and doing the passive thing.
Yep.
Jesus. Freaking hate that ship.
Well, I found it nice when I was doing, 5
It was nice when it came out, and then I
day.
realized, like, the majority of people AFK through most of the TFOs with them, and then I'm like, nope.
I'm going to take credit for just sitting there through a lot of them too. Like I said, when I'm doing 5 a day.
Yeah, I get it when it's tedious, but like, you're not like exactly doing that in middle of the map and just doing nothing. It's just, I don't know. I
really totally get your position. I wouldn't take it out if it was, like something like this. But whereas getting stationary, if you were to camp one, let's say, over the main Borg ship in Guillotine, you could really control a little bit more and let people go work on everything else.
Yeah, that's useful actually, and that makes sense, but the way that people use it most of the time is like, oh, let's sit in the middle of Starbreeze 1 and just wipe everything out, and I'm just like, what am I supposed to do in the rest of the map? Like, why are you just thinking only about yourself and your comfort.
This ship called Tholach, I don't even see him on the map at the moment. Oh, it got killed.
I don't know, maybe they didn't...
I wonder if he just didn't show up here.
Warp in?
Yeah. It says he's on the map, but I... Oh, that's why it didn't work. I was going for the gateway first, and other people were going for the cube first.
Yep.
Yep. That explains a lot. I'd moan and groan that he's AFK, but it's entirely possible that he just didn't get in here. Because that happens more and more.
Yeah, I mean, I never had that happen to me, but I've seen this happen to others.
I've seen it happen to other people, too. Well, I need to get ready for work, because, you know, it's an exciting day out there, and I have to go in and have meetings. Yay, meetings. Well, it looks like it's just you and me pretty much all day today, Chris, but it was an absolute pleasure to have you here.
Thank you, and I'm glad I could pop in, and I will try to pop in on Sunday too.
Sounds great. Send me your shopping list. In the meantime, I'll start hunting for stuff. I'm posting.
Shopping list?
Yeah. What do I need to do a good cannon build? We're going to do a cannon scatter volley.
I'm not very good cannon builder, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean,
I have one. It's great, but I think it's purely luck.
I have two ships which use cannons. That's the Shrike, and that's the Viridian Emerald Chain Juggernaut, and they use the same thing mostly on them. Because they're both intel, and they have the same, mostly same abilities. So
I have an old Klingon ship that does cannon builds, and I love it. It's got the Zatvash cannons, and it's so much fun. So I'd like to get a proper build going. But anyway, I'm gonna go off to work and go make some money here. So on behalf of the Dark Mom Consortium, I want to wish everybody a wonderful Friday. We will see you Sunday morning at 8 a.m. for Sunday morning worship. Yeah, no, not tonight, not tomorrow night. I have to be chauffeur. I will talk to you all later. Chris, thank you very much. And everybody, stay moopsome. Moopsy, moopsy. Shun the believers. Shun.